Before you introduce new material to your students, you need to make sure they've learned the previous day's lesson. Give your students the opportunity to review the previous unit or lesson in an engaging way to reignite their learning. We're going to demonstrate 3 easy ways to do that at the beginning of your class.
Number 1, think, pair, share. Here's how it works. Give your students a prompt or question related to yesterday's lesson. Then, give them a few minutes to think about their response by themselves and jot it down on some scrap paper. Next, have your students pair up to discuss their responses. Finally, bring the whole class back together to share their answers with the group. There's a couple great things about this strategy. First, it gives students a chance to interact and work together. Some students who might be struggling with their response have an opportunity to hear from one of their peers before being called on. Plus, it's a quick formative assessment. Depending on how your students respond, you can reteach or reemphasize certain material. There's a couple things you'll want to keep in mind to make sure the activity runs smoothly. First, don't let your students choose their own partners. The objective for all these techniques is to introduce some quick review at the start of the lesson. Having students moving around the room to find a partner of their choosing is only going to slow you down. You can take control of the process by matching up partners by rows or tables. Remember, be intentional with the question you choose and be present in the room during the activity. Walk around, listen to student conversations, and make sure you call on someone from every pair.
Number 2, parking lots. To do this technique, you will need to identify the 3 to 5 most important topics related to the material you've been teaching. Refer back to your curriculum pacing guide to find these topics. Then take several sheets of large poster paper and assign one to each topic. Hang them up around your room before your lesson begins. Before you begin teaching the new material for the day, give each student some sticky notes. Introduce each topic poster while the students are still seated, then have them write down one question they have for each topic or one thing they know. When you're ready to begin, divide your room into groups around each poster. Give them 60 seconds to stick their questions to the topic poster and rotate the groups clockwise around the classroom. While the students are visiting the different posters, you should be walking around, observing the different questions or statements that are being posted, and preparing your responses. When everyone has been to every station, have the students return to their desks and begin answering their questions or sharing their facts. If you're a middle school or high school teacher, the best thing about using sticky notes is that after the class, you can clear them off and reuse the posters for the next period.
Number 3, entry tickets. These serve not only as a formative assessment for you, but as a self-assessment for your students. Put together a few questions based on yesterday's lesson on a half sheet of paper, but also include some self-assessment questions for your students like, how confident did I feel solving that problem? Entry tickets are great for classroom management, particularly if you have a class that takes a while to settle down. Stand at the door as students enter your room and hand out your entry tickets. This gives students something to do immediately. Take some time after class to review all the tickets to determine gaps in learning and plan how to review in the future. What's useful about entry tickets is that they are shorter than a worksheet, lower stakes, and take up less lesson time. Plus, entry tickets aren't graded, but they still give you the multiple data points you need to determine student comprehension of your lesson.
You want to make sure you're always building your next lesson on the foundation of your previous one. Use one of these 3 techniques at the start of your next class to reignite your students' learning.